Today on Divorce Court.
I'm in court today to get a third opinion and to build a healthy marriage.
We had some tough times early in our marriage. I went to prison for 8 years.
Nathan and I have been married for 23 years, and his affair has put that in jeopardy.
While I was in prison, my wife cheated on me. When I got out of prison, because she cheated on me, I cheated on her.
The one thing I'd want the judge to tell Nathan today is just be honest, stay honest.
The one thing that I want the judge to tell Emily today is to trust me and let the past be the past.
Divorce Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Emily Essary and Nathan Essary. You two were childhood sweethearts, married young. You had an unfortunate stint in prison. You had 2 kids, and then there's another woman involved. Ms. Essary, why don't you give me a quick background on you and your husband's relationship?
The background of my husband and I's relationship is that we married when we were young, and we had been together for a good 3 years before he got in a little bit of trouble with the law and was incarcerated for 8 years. We married as well while he was incarcerated. Mm-hmm. 8 years later, when he came home, I'd already had a child, and I was pregnant with my second one the year he came home. Mm-hmm. It brought a little bit of trouble, and it brought a little bit of trouble into our relationship.
I should say, Mr. Essary, what did you know about her having babies with other men while you were in prison? Did she let you know as things were happening?
Yes, she let me know. She actually wrote me a letter and told me that whenever she first...
About the first one?
The first one, yes. And on the second one, her mother wrote me a letter and told me.
Did you ever consider that, having had all this happen while you were gone, did it make you doubt your relationship with your wife?
It never made me doubt my relationship with my wife. I think it may have been some of the reason that caused me to do what I did and my infidelities, right. But it never made me doubt my relationship.
How were things when he came out of jail? I imagine it was a rough transition because you were young and he had been gone so long.
It was a rough transition, and it was something that I needed to give a lot of attention to. And with me being pregnant, 8 months pregnant at the time of him coming home, he didn't get the attention from me that he deserved.
Right. I also understand that when he came home, he ran around a bit with other women. Is that accurate?
Yes, I kind of chalked it up to him kind of sold us all wild oats, as you say. Mm-hmm. It bothered me, and of course I acted on it, and we would fight about that sort of thing when it would happen. However, I don't focus on it as much as I do the latest issue.
Right. I can't imagine going in at 17, being married to somebody that had 2 babies on you, get out, and you just got to be a faithful guy and watch her belly grow. You wanted to have some fun, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not saying it was right, but I'm saying I get it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. You feel you got all that out of your system?
Yes, I do.
So are you, other than the issue that arose as a function thereof, which we will be talking about soon enough, is your relationship in a steadier place?
It is, other than that, yes.
Yeah. How are you with the other kids? Are you okay with them?
Yes, the kids, they've never been an issue.
Right.
It's never been a problem for me.
Why don't you tell me what the primary concern is now?
The primary concern is the latest infidelity. There had been a couple of times before this one, and I deal with them. The way that they are dealt with is Nathan had even told a couple of them, if my wife finds out, then it's over. We can't continue doing this. Well, I told him at the last one, I said, you're going to meet someone who isn't going to get over it that easy. They're going to fall in love with you, or they're going to be crazy. Something's going to happen to where they're not going to go away. And I talked it into existence, apparently, because now I've got a woman in my life that doesn't go away.
How long ago did you find out about this particular woman?
It's been over 3 years. It was in 2000, and it was in July of 2014.
Here's the other woman. Her name is Erin. Is that her right back there?
Yes, that's her.
Okay. How long did you have a relationship with her before your wife found out?
Maybe 3 months.
3 months? In that 3 months, Did you ever think that possibly you might want to be with the new woman as opposed to your wife? Or was she still just one of the string of side chicks that you had?
Honestly, I never considered her as anything more than that.
Than a side chick?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Did you ever make her any promises? Did you ever make any professions of love or speak about the future with her?
I may have let her on.
Yeah, because you got to talk some game to a woman
Yes,
in order to get her to do that.
Yes.
So do you recall any game that you may have spoken?
No.
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 Okay. When your wife found out, what did you do?
I removed myself from the situation. I asked my boss at work if he could move me away from the woman, and because I didn't want any more problems with my wife. I didn't want to not be with my wife.
Mm-hmm. But my understanding is, Mrs. Essary, that she has been a nonstop component in your life ever since.
It's been a nightmare, yes, ma'am.
When did she first make contact with you?
The first time that I found out about her was one afternoon when he came home for lunch. He had this look on his face like something was wrong, and so I grabbed his phone, and which isn't something I typically do, but this particular day it just seemed like the right thing to do. And I found the text of him and another person that were leading from the beginning of their day to them meeting in a hotel room, which is where he works, is in a hotel. So I immediately called the number and I asked, "Why are you texting my husband, and why is it leading into a hotel room with my husband?" And the woman on the other end immediately begins to tell me how much in love they are together. I mean, we're in love. This is what we're going to do. This is how it's been. You need to know.
I'm the new woman. Back up. I'm moving in. I've got that.
Instantly starts telling me that. He instantly begins telling me this isn't true. She's crazy. She's lying. It's not the case. Emily, don't believe her. I've been trying to get away from her. She's crazy.
Okay, so we got to figure out what happened. The nature of the relationship that Mr. Essary has with this woman is very intriguing. We have a lengthy statement from her and a great deal of conduct, and we're going to talk about all of that next. I read a letter from her that I just found frightening. She says you are her soulmate, that Emily may have you physically, but you belong to her spiritually and emotionally. Have you talked to her and told her what's up? Mr. Essary, I read a letter from, her name is Erin, and I read a letter from her that I just found frightening. She says you are her soulmate, that Emily is a narcissist who likes to charm people, that no matter what happens, the two of you will always be in love, always be together, that Emily may have you physically, but you belong to her spiritually and emotionally. I'm in his thoughts, I'm in his dreams, I'm in his soul. Nothing can separate our love. He just needs to find the courage to walk away. Have you talked to her and told her what's up?
The last maybe 5 or 6 times that I did speak to Erin, it was me telling her to leave me alone, please go away. You're ruining my life.
Doesn't do any good.
No. As you can see from her letter that
she just believes.
She doesn't listen. She never listened to anything I said. She just believes what she believes.
I got you. But according to Erin, you the devil.
Oh, of course.
And I'm just going to read off some of the things that she says you've done. And if you did any of them, just raise your hand and let me know.
Okay.
When she found out about the affair, she contacted our boss to let him know.
Yes.
That you made a ton of fake profiles on gay dating sites using his name.
I did do that out of anger, yes.
Okay. You've made him lose jobs because you would call and harass his coworkers.
Incorrect.
Put a tracking device on his phone so he could keep tabs on him.
Didn't have to. He allows me to check his location at any time.
Records their fights to use against him later.
I have not done that. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
You submitted her name to a website that exposes home wreckers.
Yes, I did, along with her picture. It does not look like the filtered one you showed a moment
You
ago.
threatened to go to her mother's house and send screenshots of your mom's. You sent her screenshots of her mom's address and phone number. Did you do that?
I don't recall doing that at all. I do know where she lives, though.
You set your hair on fire so he wouldn't leave?
No.
Vandalized Nathan's car so it wouldn't drive, so he would be sure not to be able to get to her.
I've never done that. I would never do that.
You're poisoning his food because he suddenly became sick and couldn't keep anything down. At that time, you were feeding him. Not true?
Feeding him like by my hand. No,
Dinner.
No, it's not true. No.
You had several affairs with different guys, and that you met at the convenience store.
I've had affairs before before he came home from prison. I did.
Well, I'm going to find out what the worst thing she's doing and continues to do, and what you're doing to stop it, and what you may or may not be doing to encourage it.
She had called Nathan, and I answered it and had it on speakerphone. She says, I'm pregnant with his baby.
Were you concerned that it might actually be your baby? Is it okay to cheat on your partner if they're in prison? Tell us what you think at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. Erin is engaging in ongoing efforts to end your marriage, is she not?
Yes.
Tell me what's the most drastic thing she's done so far.
On the day of her birthday, the day before my birthday, she had called Nathan, and I answered it and had it on speakerphone. At this point, I asked her, why are you calling my husband? And she tells me immediately, Emily, I've never done you anything wrong to you. And I instantly wait for her to, just sit there without anything to say. And she says, and I'm pregnant with this baby. And I look over at Nathan, and the first thing Nathan looks at me and says is, will you please help me? And it was right then I knew that, it was the first time he admitted that he was with her. That's how I knew finally for sure that he was with her sexually.
Were you concerned that it might actually be your baby?
Yes, honestly, I was.
Yeah. And what happened after that?
For the next 3 weeks, I continued to live as if I was going to be helping my husband raise another woman's baby. It was the longest 3 weeks of my life, and I knew that they were going to begin talking to one another because of this reason. I knew that there was going to be interaction with them, and I couldn't stop it. I was, however, able to direct all of the incoming text and emails or anything to myself or through, of his to me. So I receive an email that lets him know that there's been a sonogram of the baby.
Let me see.
Yes.
But at some juncture, you find out, look, give me all your evidence. I don't know what all that is. Are those the texts and everything?
Yes.
At some juncture, you figure out that it's not his baby. Why don't you explain how you did that?
Whenever I decided, of course, since he needed to see it, it was his, and we had the rights to see it. I gave it to him, and I remember him kind of smiling a little bit, and it hurt real bad to see him smile. And I took a good look at the sonogram picture that she had sent, and I thought to myself, this doesn't look like my sonogram pictures I have of my babies. And I walked around the corner of the room, and I looked at one I had hanging there, and I thought to myself, that is not a real sonogram. And I just Googled it. She said it was she was 10 and a half weeks pregnant, so I Googled 10 and a half week pregnant sonogram.
And bam, there it was.
It didn't even take me one page of Google to find the one she used.
That's the first one that popped up.
The first one that popped up, and she only put our name on it. She edited everything else, just emptied it, and only put her name on it, and left the numbers out. That which
lets you know it's not real. Yeah,
that's what gave me the idea. And I looked at Nathan and I told him, I said, I guess your baby's famous because it's the first baby on Google when your baby's famous. And I wasn't trying to be mean, but I was at the same time. And when I saw how bad it, when it hit him and he saw that she lied and that he put his kids through that and that she was trying to hurt our family, and I saw that on his face, I knew right then. I became even angrier at Erin at that point.
What is she currently doing?
She still calls to this day.
Okay. Does she do anything other than continue to call?
She has come to my work 4 times.
What does she do when she comes to your job?
She's provoking me. It's like poking a bear. She is provoking me. I assume she's trying to get me into trouble because anybody in their right mind.
Did you file a restraining order against her? If she keeps showing up someplace where she's not invited like that, you can get a restraining order.
Right, and I've reported it to the police. I've not ever followed through on a restraining order. My husband and I keep thinking if we ignore her, she will go away, and we're just wrong every time.
Yeah. I want to ask you, Mr. Essary, how this makes you feel and how successful she's been at putting a crack in your marriage. How would you handle an aggressive other woman? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. Mr. Essary, why don't you tell me what's it like now being in this situation?
Well, ever since this situation began, it's been nothing but a total nightmare. My wife, she doesn't believe a word, anything I have to say to her. She doesn't trust me whatsoever. She controls every aspect of my life, so much so that I feel like I'm still in prison sometimes.
Do you try to control him?
I do. I want to stop doing that too. Before this happened, I wasn't that way.
Yeah.
I want it back.
What do you have there?
These are texts from my wife just to me saying,
Where are you? Get home. What's happening?
It's-
Blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you. I'm going to speak to you, Miss Essary. Every time you text him, every time you poke at him, every time you ask him where he is, every time you make him feel like he's in a prison in his own home, this chick wins. You have an obligation to change how you feel about this woman. She's not going to change how she feels about you or him, but you can change how you feel about her. She's the joke of the day. But you gotta let it be the joke of the day. And you have to say out loud, I wanna look for him, I wanna ask him where he is, but I don't want this chick to win. And don't let her win. You want to enjoy him, you wanna laugh about her, yeah, that idiot was there again today, and I still love you, and I ain't worried, because he ain't going nowhere. And if he's gonna go somewhere, he's gonna go. Tracking him ain't gonna stop him. Not at all. All it does is allow her to wedge her way in between the two of you. The fight you have to fight is not her, it's not him, it's with you. You decide how she's gonna make you feel. You decide she's the joke of the day. You decide that you're gonna take steps every single solitary day to redefine whatever you're feeling and whatever you're doing is. Instead of asking him where he is, you do something to make sure he wants to be home. There's a big difference. Understand what I'm telling you?
Yes.
It's a mindset. And if she keeps showing up on you, get a restraining order. You can put her in jail a couple times. That may redirect her attention a bit. But your fight is with you. Do you understand that?
I do. That's what I'm here for.
Stand strong, stay cool, do what you gotta do, fight your fight. Don't get mad, because you started it.
I understand.
You got that?
I do.
Don't get mad because you started, and reward her when she trusts you.
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
baby, reward her. Don't forget to love each other. People get caught up in a bad circumstance. All they see is that circumstance. They forget to have sex. They forget to love on one another. They forget to tell each other that they're handsome or that they're pretty. They forget to enjoy each other. Don't forget the marriage messing with the nonsense. You with me? Every time there's some 10 minutes of nonsense, plan 10 minutes of some kind of joy. It's a game. You can beat the game. You with me?
Yes.
I'm serious. You got me?
Yeah, that's
You
the best
paying
way you could
attention?
put it.
Yes, I am.
This matter is adjourned.
Judge Lynn had a lot of advice for you. She wants you to stop playing Aaron's game. How do you plan to do that?
Just by dropping a subject about her and ignoring her, just completely ignoring her and getting it out of our life.
What's some of the advice you're going to walk away with?
Learn that if I don't want to lose my wife, that I need to start treating her like a wife.